Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Welcome back to the Average Joe Show. Ooh, ooh. This is your show where we have the most likely of people coming together.
Do you want to redo that?
Friends. No.
Okay. Well, now I can't even cut myself out being like, oh, do you want to redo that?
That's the beautiful thing about this is authenticity. Don't touch my drink.
I want to try it.
No, not yet. We haven't gotten to that segment yet. How's everybody doing today? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing all right. I went to the store. I just got my package delivered, according to the text message I just received from my mother.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just went and picked you up.
And we checked the mail, and there wasn't anything.
Yeah.
And then we left, and...
You totally... I think you missed it.
No, I didn't. I looked in the mailbox, and there's no key in there.
Let's see. We're gonna.
No, they probably just dropped off the mail. We probably left, and then they came up and, like, did it.
I'm gonna text Mom and see if it was on the doorstep or in the mailbox.
I walked through the front door. There was no box up there that I noticed.
Because if you missed the key, I'm gonna be pissed.
I didn't miss the key.
This is where
You're gaslighting me.
No.
Stop gaslighting.
Hayden, I want you to... I'll give you 3 guesses on what my package is. Because Amy knows what it is, to a point.
Yeah, I know as much as Dad.
Something Donkey Kong related.
No. That
Oh, I wish.
I wish.
Dude, the gorilla came in the mail.
That's about it.
Okay. It's not just 1 6-pack, but 2 6-packs of Mountain Dew Typhoon. Just straight from the mail.
What flavor is that?
That was a flavor that I remember having when I was like 12. Or I can't remember when it came out. I feel like 12 was just a generic number I always pull up if it was long ago.
Yeah. You sit there like, 10 is too young.
Yeah, 10 was too young.
I was too much of a little man. I gotta be an even bigger man.
Or was I like 16? Because I bought the...
12 or 16.
I probably was 16.
Yeah.
Because I had money and I bought it. I bought like 2 12-packs of it. It was a random flavor. I remember liking it, but I haven't had it in a while. It's called Mountain Dew Typhoon, if I didn't say that already.
On the next episode, the next episode. I'm gonna redo that real quick. On our next recording, do you want to bring some and then we can all try it?
I'll bring 1 can probably.
You cooties.
I'll pour it in a glass.
In a cup.
I take a ball, turn it into a glass. Where did it go? It's in my ass.
Wow.
Take a bottle, it's now a
Sorry,
glass.
Grandma, you're not going to watch this one anymore. He
No,
said the butt word.
I didn't say it. I said I said the grandma rated. I did the G rated.
Word.
Huh?
Not the butt word.
Not the butt word.
Okay. You take the bottle, turn it in. Take the ball, it's now a glass. Where did it go? It's in the grass. There we go.
Dude, I hope I can easily cut out the version before so that I can just have that one in. That would be so funny.
So it's G rated for grandma?
Yeah. G for grandma.
Yeah, just cut out that part, but it's like the text to speech. It's in the grass.
It's in the grass.
Wow.
It's on my grass.
It's in my grass.
Okay. So what's everybody drinking today?
I have salted caramel monster.
The Baja Monster.
No, it's not the mean bean. Mean bean.
The Baja Monster.
That's a J.
Hava Monster. The Lava
Might be
Monster.
Java. Like Minecraft. Whoa!
Wait. That's
Minecraft Java edition.
Oh.
Salted caramel Java edition.
How's it? How is it?
It's pretty good. Yesterday when I had the mean bean, I didn't shake it.
The mean bean fighting machine.
Yeah. I just like caramel stuff more, and it's pretty good. I like it.
I'm not a big salted caramel fan, and the idea of
She's
it
not
being
that salty.
It says salted caramel on there, right?
It says salted caramel, but also what the heck is mean bean, Sam?
It's when they make the bean very aggressive.
You know punch him.
You know how they make bowls very aggressive? Same idea. They just poke it.
Wow.
They're like,
get mad.
Get mad, you stupid coffee bean. Hayden, what do you got?
A dropout, which is Mountain Dew and something.
From swag.
From the swig. Guys, we got an update on the package. I said, okay, cool. Was it on the doorstep or in the mailbox? Mailbox was 2 words. And
she
Mom
said mailbox in 1 word.
She said doors. Doorstep.
What are you drinking?
I got the new summer Baja flavor of the Baja Mango Gem.
Can I try some?
No.
Why?
Let me just describe it to you. Then I'll let you smell the
Okay.
sippy.
I have this.
Don't touch that one. That one's mine also.
You got 2 of them. I'm on either side of both of them, so I can easily get one.
You know, this just tastes like a Bloody Wild from Swig, but not
Really?
pureed. Do you want to try it, Hayden?
No, it's okay.
Do you want a sippy from that one?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It does taste like a Bloody Wild. That's pretty good.
Well, that was a good drink segment.
Oh yeah.
Did you try it already?
No.
Oh yeah, you already did. Don't give
No.
I was hoping to get another swig out of it.
You can't get the sippy.
Did you see, like, my gears going in my head, like, if I say no, I can have another sip of it.
But then, because the way that you said it, I'm like, oh no, you already had it.
She got some already.
No.
You gaslighting me!
So,
Wow.
what are we talking about today?
A video game that came out on my birthday?
No, we're not. This is news to me.
Oh, we're talking about movies that have come out so far this year. So we're just going from, well, technically February to May, because we didn't watch any movies in January.
We're doing a 6-month recap of what we've,
Excuse me, a what?
a 6-month recap
Oh.
of the stuff we've watched.
Yeah.
Well, movies.
Even though right now it's like the end of June.
So Hayden has some surprises for us, and I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be. It's not that.
okay.
Do you know if we've watched these movies or?
A lot of these are Disney Plus movies, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
One of them I definitely do not think you guys have seen, but
Sick.
it was not by my choice. I saw it.
Was it the missus?
No.
Oh.
Was it the siblings?
Yes.
I was gonna say the sibs.
Wait, hold up, guys. Before we get into this, I got a snack for us to try today. It's called...
Try saying that one more time without being a ruckus with the box.
Guys, today I got a snack for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's Hostess cupcakes, but they're the limited edition of dinosaur. Here's one for you.
Oh, thank you. That was...
Here's one for you.
Oh, thanks.
And here's one for me.
Oh, shit. No. I was sitting here specifically like, alright guys, let's just hurry and unwrap it so I can cut it out. Unhinged.
Okay.
Whoa,
when everybody's ready, we're all gonna take a bite.
These are like Shrek colored.
Yeah,
we're having Shrek cupcakes.
Okay, what do you think this flavor is going to be before we take a bite into it?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
What do you think the frosting flavor is going to be?
Vanilla. I cheated and looked over.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, I guess not. Okay, we'll bite three. Guys, I think
this
we
tastes like bones. Yeah.
Tastes like fossils.
The secret ingredient. Amber.
Amber Heard?
No.
This was one of the most anticlimactic sequences of my entire life.
This is just like every other hostess, Sam.
No, I had a lemon one.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, it was good. So,
Death on the Nile, guys.
No, we gotta have our thoughts on this. It's
like
pretty okay. I think
it
literally just took the frosting and put food coloring in it.
Yeah.
Ooh. I was drinking and some of it went up my nose somehow.
You were drinking the Hostess cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
She was drinking her not mean bean fighting machine. She did the salty caramel, the salty splatooner.
That's what they should have called it, the salty splatooner. Salty splatooner. I was sitting here waiting to see what you were doing. Because I could see you just going like, I'm going to do something real funny. So what's your thoughts on Death on the Nile?
I guess we're going straight into it.
Yeah, I didn't know how to segue into it. I'm no Julian Solomita.
Our podcasting abilities are not the greatest for segues.
That's how it be sometimes.
Subway.
Subway.
I didn't get it for a second, but...
Like, eat fresh.
Makes even less sense, but...
You know, the restaurant? Subway.
Talking about weird things that you thought were going to be one thing, but it really was just bland.
Death on the Nile. Morbius?
No, not yet.
Mobius. I know.
Morbin time.
Guys, we haven't gotten to that movie yet.
Yeah, we can't jump into
that.
We can't get to the best movie of the year yet.
We're changing it. This is a Morbius episode.
Okay.
Morbid time. Death on the Nile. Can I talk about how I brought you guys into it?
Yes.
So at the theater we have screenings, which is just basically as like just a work team we can go and watch the movie early, like just like the night before or something.
It's for testing purposes legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that it's playing right, obviously.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that the picture's right, which is funny because that's what ended up happening because we were like, oh, it looks kind of fuzzy. Someone go fix it. And someone ran up and like adjusted the little thing to like make it sharper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so the movie didn't get out until like 3 a.m. because we had to adjust the screen, and then it's like, okay, well, let's restart it again, and then yeah, so it didn't get out until 3, and I remember there were parts of the movie where all of us were just laughing super hard at like unintentional funny things. Because there's just parts where the music, like there's no music, there's no sound, and it's just like them being awkward on screen. It's like, idiots! So it was pretty terrible. And I remember after watching that, I was like, I regret everything, but also I want Sam to feel this pain, so I'm going to bring Sam and Hayden so they know. So then the next day we went to go see it.
So I remember getting a text from you legit saying these words, Sam, the movie's terrible. Let's watch it. And I was like, I really don't want to watch it if it's terrible.
Yeah.
But you went to it for free because of me. Because working there, you get free tickets. That's why you should work at a movie theater. Free tickets, baby. For the most part.
Yeah.
Unless there's a big Star Wars movie coming out. And then it's like, Disney hates us.
You gotta wait like 10 years, then you could watch it for free.
Even though I didn't watch the last Star Wars in theaters because I was working. And I was also depressed around that time. And I was like,
Come on, Amy.
I'm not going to watch any movies right now. No thanks.
You should just be even more depressed and watch the new Star Wars movie.
I already did. The first time that you watched it, that was the first time I watched it.
Oh, so we watched it like a whole year after it came out?
Yeah.
Well, cool.
I had the same feelings as, what's his face?
Wow, this is a great joke.
They fly now.
What?
You don't remember that stupid line? And then, what's his face made fun of it? It's Poe.
Fly now. Amy, I watched the movie once. I fell asleep during it, and don't plan on watching it again.
Yeah. But Death on the Nile, man. It was funny the second time I watched it. I hated it the first time. And I was like, no, it wasn't that bad the second time. But I also left at the most uncomfortable part. I did the same thing with Midsummer, though.
Wait,
where I was like,
the most uncomfortable scene? Was it the best scene of the whole movie that I like to quote sometimes?
No. Yes, that part.
The one where Wonder Woman's just like, where is the serpent? Where is it? I'm trying to look on it. Do I ride the horse or does the horse ride me?
Uncomfortable. And then her cousin tries to kill him with a rock. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was the cousin being like, they gotta die. They gotta go.
This movie was the most sexual movie I've ever seen without being, without sex. It was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna put my pelvic area towards your pelvic area, but
I mean, I've seen worse from a PG-13 movie, but that movie also sucked, and I don't plan on talking about it.
There was Discount Margot Robbie. There was that was the girl.
Okay, I would say all the actors were good for what they were given. They just went all out. So, the villain characters were, very extra. And I was like, thanks, I love this. This is fun.
I think everybody other than the detective were good.
Yeah,
for what they were given.
He was kind of vibing. I hated also the very beginning where it's like, we're in the war times and this guy's supposed to be real smart, but then now we're going to cut to Egypt now. And it's like, I don't know what's happening and I hate this.
Also the fact that his mustache covers up his scar, that's
not even accurate from the very beginning.
Yeah, the mustache.
He was scarred up like Two-Face, and then they made it seem like his little mustache could cover it up because it's just a little lip scar.
Yeah.
Not half of his face.
It was like a mustache covered a pimple spot, but then in actuality the hit was across half of his face.
Yeah.
It was like Anakin Skywalker level of just across the eye.
Well, when up, because they did get it on the mouth, but then it went all across his face.
Yeah.
And it's like, no mustache big enough will cover this.
Not even a Pringles one, Detective. Wow. I don't know if that was his name, but I just knew
it's something like that.
You're cool.
It's me.
Mario.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it, Hayden?
Pull a hat on him.
Pull a hat on him.
Yeah.
Mario.
Yeah.
He's got a little nub for a hat.
I did not like how it was very obvious who the bad guy in the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was plot twist, it's who we alluded to the whole time. That's the whole thing. I'm like, wonderful. Thanks for wasting my time.
But it was better than the first one.
I know. I was about to say from the first, like comparing to the first one where everyone killed him. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
it's better.
I was like going into the movie and realizing what happened in the first movie where everybody was the murderer. I was going like, oh, they're going the complete other way. Where
they started at rock bottom, so they can only go up from here.
Well,
and they only went one step up.
Well, I was like, oh, they're gonna have since they had everybody kill Johnny Depp in the movie. We're gonna do in the next movie. Nobody's gonna be the murderer. Wonder Woman just killed herself.
Everyone's gonna be sitting there just like, when's the murder gonna happen? And then the movie ends. Nothing happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The detective's like, there's been a murder, and everybody's like, where?
Where?
Also, the fact the movie's called Death on the Nile, but the first death doesn't happen until like 2 hours into the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last half hour, I swear.
I don't know why.
No, it was an hour into it, yeah.
It was like an hour and a half.
It was like the halfway point where she died, which was okay, but I kept sitting there like, who's gonna die? Because I don't know why I was sitting here like, oh, Gal Gadot's not gonna die, it's gonna be her husband, because that's what they have it seem like in the trailers.
I don't remember watching the trailer. Well,
I heard it every day, and it was awful. At the theater, they just have the same, like, 5 trailers playing on the big TV out in the lobby. Especially, like, during, like, January, like, where it's completely dead and it's dead quiet in all the theaters. So it's just, like, the trailers are echoing through the halls, and it's like, oh, no, please!
The trailer I remember hearing a lot when I worked at the movie theater was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where like the announcement trailer was the Hooked on a Feeling, and I just remember going to the break room and then walking out and just hearing ooga shaka ooga. And I was just like, okay, this is all I'm going to hear all day, every day. Same with
Ferdinand.
Oh,
oh, I forgot that was the trailer song.
And then I was like, hi, I'm Ferdinand. I'm John Cena.
John Cena.
I'm Ferdinand. I'm a cow.
Man. Jonathan Cena.
I'd probably say Death on the Nile. 3 out of 10.
I give it 2 more Gruffalo's.
I think if I were just to rank it between all the movies that I've watched, I think I'm putting it at the bottom.
I'd put it in the middle because I think I'd watch it again just to laugh at it. I wouldn't look at it seriously. I
would just go to my favorite scene where it's just like, where is the serpent?
You already did that on my HBO stuff. You like skipped to it and you're like, Amy, look!
Yeah.
And I cried.
So I do that with movies. For those who don't know, I just pull up random movies to some of like the weird scenes, and I just pause it right before the scene happens and get
so then you can go to it whenever you feel like it.
So like one time, one of my roommates was watching something. No, it wasn't my roommate. Who was it? Somebody was watching something, and I remember. No, it was X-Men. It was X-Men Days of Futures Past. And I set it to the 18-minute mark, which is exactly when Hugh Jackman hops out of bed and you see his butt. And
big butt.
Yeah, the Hugh Jackman.
No, the grass.
Oh yeah, the huge grassman. And Hugh Grassman. Every single time I say the word apps, can you put the word grass in for me? Thanks. Thanks.
Where's the bottle? In my grass.
In my grass.
In my grass.
Yeah.
But I remember just having random people just, oh, I don't remember turning on this movie. Let me turn it on, and then they just click it, and this first thing they see is butt. So I did that. So I did that with Death on the Nile. I just skipped it to that scene and to the serpent scene, and then exited out.
Good thing the only time that's been turned on is when you're like, baby, look. I haven't turned it on any other time.
I ruined the bit. I ruined my prank every single time because I just think
you
it's
get too
hilarious.
excited.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can't wait for them to fall for it. Let me just shove them in.
Yeah.
All right. Did you watch Uncharted, Hayden?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did too.
Farted.
Unfarted.
I shot it.
I didn't watch the movie.
Hayden, I watched the movie.
I was too busy sitting there like, I gotta leave the theater. I gotta go right now.
I was too busy going on a date to not watch it. I went on a date with this one girl. I was like, yo, want to watch a movie? And she's like, cool, what movie? I'm like, oh, there's this movie called Uncharted. And she's like, oh, I know nothing about this. What is Uncharted? And I'm like, it's based off of a video game that was really good. And it has Tom Holland in it. And she's just like,
Tom
Whoa!
Holland? Tom Holland? Say no more!
Tom Holland.
No!
I don't like how I hate how we get so excited and our immediate reaction is just to grab the mic. Well, that movie, briefly, went into the movie being like, yeah, this movie's going to be okay. Went in, it was okay. And
it was not.
So I was entertained enough.
Yeah.
But would I go see it again? No. If there is a sequel, would I watch it? Probably. Because you know why? Uncharted is probably one of my favorite video game series of all time. And I will support it.
It was a good action movie, but it was not a good Uncharted movie. Like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, I just sat there and I had to remind myself, oh yeah, this is Uncharted. It was just a good, very simple formula action movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I heard a lot from all the other workers that watched it.
The only cool, unique thing they did was with the pirate ships, flying in the air.
But I think that was the worst scene.
Oh, I didn't know there were pirate ships that were flying. I didn't know this was Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'd probably give it to 5 out of 10.
I think you're going off that rating scale. I'm just going to rank whatever movies. So I'm just going to put Uncharted above Death on the Nile. Even though I've seen Death on the Nile only once.
Yeah.
But
I give it 0 mark replicas because I haven't watched it. So Hayden, what's one of your surprises?
Give
us a surprise movie.
Have you guys ever heard of a movie called Hotel Transylvania?
No.
I heard the trailer all the time. Is it the newest one?
Yeah, number 4.
They have 4 of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought there was only 3.
They should have stopped after the first one. As in, they shouldn't have made any at all.
Oh.
They should have made this new one because it didn't even have Adam Sandler in it.
Yeah.
It's just a knockoff Adam Sandler.
You could tell it was somebody trying to do an impression of Adam Sandler doing an impression of Dracula.
And that was like half of the characters too.
Yeah, half the characters aren't in it. It was supposed to be in theaters, but then Amazon bought it and then put it on Amazon Prime, and it just...
Yeah, because I remember that day where it was like, oh, it's only going to go to streaming, and we were sitting there and we would just hear the trailer on repeat, just we need to get it out of here, we need to get it out of here.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Hotel Transylvania. They take it too far this time.
Hey, everyone on everything was complaining that the Invisible Man wasn't even hot.
Oh,
and that's what everyone was banking on.
There was lots of butts.
Oh yeah, I'm not even surprised.
Lots of butts. Right on the screen, there's one scene where the invisible man becomes visible, and it just zooms in right on his butt crack. I give it a 0.5 out of 10.
Wow. Amy, do you have a guess on who Dracula was played by?
Not Adam Sandler.
Wow, you're right. Who is it?
I don't know, Sam.
I don't know either.
Okay, cool.
It's a YouTuber that does impressions.
Yeah, because he only does.
He's
He's
Brian
only
something.
small.
Wait, let me see.
Brian Hull.
Yeah, he does YouTube.
Hole?
He does YouTube impressions. They got a YouTuber to play the main character.
Ah, sick, dude. He's coming up on life. He looks like a guy I used to work with. One of the little team members.
Steve Buscemi was in there.
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan was in it.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Selena Gomez
But
is still Mavis.
Gaffigan was also in the last one, I think, the third one.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
Oh,
who
he's
does for some reason does not sound like Andy Samberg, and I thought someone else was.
I know in the trailer he sounded like someone trying to do his voice.
Yeah, and I figured since they got rid of Adam Sandler, I'm like they probably got rid of
like half of them.
him too.
Jim Gaffigan was probably the Monster Hunter guy.
Yeah, Van Helsing.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Do you know who Tyler Blevins is, Amy?
What does he look like? Let me get a picture of him.
No.
I don't know his name, Sam.
Oh, okay, never mind. He is a party monster, and it's as Tyler Ninja Blevins.
Yeah.
Ninja was in the movie.
Man, this is just like Free Guy, where
you know
there's a bunch of streamers and also Jacksepticeye.
I've gotten down to a 0.3 out of 5. Just because I forgot Ninja was in it.
Oh no!
That guy, bank off of him. Ninja!
Hey, Ninja, if you're out there, I want to be on the content crash, whatever the frick it was, the boxing thing. I want you.
Oh, creator class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear me? I want to box you. I'm not even that good, but I'm probably bigger than you. You're probably faster than me, but I'm bigger than you. That was me trying to... I missed my hand on the first swing.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably stand a lot of a chance.
Well, since you're doing some Jackass moves, what were your thoughts on Jackass Forever? Did you watch Jackass Forever, Hayden?
No.
Okay.
Grass. Jack Grass.
Jack's grass.
Jack Grass forever.
Yeah, that movie, can't really say too much about it. I listened to it. I watched it with one of my coworkers. We had a good time, and we saw a lot of male genitalia.
A lot of penis.
I like how we're editing out the word ass with grass, but we just say straight up penis. And like
you could just edit it to say wiener.
I think that's
wiener. Weenies.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
We saw a lot of hot dogs.
Oh no.
But it was there was some funny freaking stunts. Like
I forgot that Eric Andre was in it too.
he was in it for like
a little bit.
He was there for one bit, I think.
Yeah.
And he got hit in the face by an inflatable like fist or something.
I love that for him.
But Johnny Knoxville still trying to kill himself on set. I guess he just got a concussion that like was pretty bad for him. That sent him straight to the ER. And
from this movie?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I think this was one of his worst injuries yet. Because he went one-on-one with a bull, and then
I remember seeing that in the trailer.
Yeah, that was like the stunt. There's also this guy named Zach. He's known. He's a YouTuber as well.
Is he the guy that like launches himself and like lands in cactus?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a huge bus shelter poster that was like him with like a pride flag and just like jumping over the cactus. So it's like, oh no, he's going for it.
He's going the distance.
He's going for speed.
This is a very childish group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very juvenile. Very juvenile. There's a guy named Poopy, and he's a pretty solid guy.
Mm-hmm. I know that the whole premise of this movie was just like introducing like a new group of like people
Stunt
that
guys.
yeah. So it's like another generation of jackass.
Jackgrass.
Yeah.
Jackgrass. But you saw Wee Man, the little midget. You saw man, that man is built. Wee Man, I'll take you out in a freaking boxing match as well. I'll be on my knees while you freaking are also at the same height as me.
You'll just smooch. It is Pride Month after all.
I think that man, actually, I don't know. I shouldn't just start naming off.
Don't start fighting people, Sam.
Okay. I won't fight you, Wee Man. I'll respect you.
Only fight Ninja.
Yeah.
Take
Ninja,
one opponent at a time.
I won't take you out on Fortnite because I've only played it once when it first came out.
On a serious note, I can't take you on Fortnite.
Hey guys, let's just make it serious real quick for a second and talk about Fortnite.
I know like 3 dances from Fortnite.
Do them right now. With you gotta do it on the squeaky floor so we can hear it. Dude, I hope we can hear this on the mic.
So we got one of these.
It was even better than I thought it would be. Ooh-wee.
Then you got the classic ooh.
Dude, Nate does that all the time, and it was my favorite. I would just at the theater, I'd look over at him, and just do it down the hall. I was like,
the weird
Nate.
arm gyration thing where he's just shooting arms out, tucking it in, then shooting it back out to a lower part of the body, and then squatting down.
Did you learn all the Fortnite dances? You watched the video and you're like, I gotta learn these.
No.
Gonna use these at the club.
I've seen
Can you imagine?
There's probably way too many people that do that.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, that's really all that I gotta say about that movie. My favorite stunt, there's a girl that's freaking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that's called The Quiet Game. So good. At one point, everybody has to do these different challenges,
mm-hmm.
and if they make a noise, they lose. One of them was they all had to lick a taser, and this girl, everybody was reacting ooh, I got freaking shocked. And then
I'm Steve.
No,
like a cartoon.
But this one girl, she just licked it, like you'd stick your tongue on the taser.
Yeah.
And she stuck her tongue out, got tased once, didn't even make any sort of reaction. Went for it again, a third time I think, and everyone's just like, stop! This girl's nuts!
Wait, stop!
Your girl's in the house, stop!
We said the one time!
But the best part also was Steve-O had this, I think it was a skateboard. It was dropped from a guillotine onto his shins. And and he just it hits him and he's just like, ah! And he's like,
man, I forgot the whole bit of this game. I forgot that I was supposed to keep quiet.
I love Steve-O.
I would like to meet Steve-O.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a pretty solid guy.
Guys, that's him.
He's
Hey, come on in, Steve-O.
Hey man, friend. What's going on, guys?
That's not a good one, but
Oh my goodness.
He's probably like just a more wild Jake, and it makes me very happy.
I think Jake has hit a lot of stuff from our knowledge of wild stuff he's done, and I can see him.
I mean, I can see Steve-O doing a bit more than him, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the Grass movie. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Wow.
So, I know all of us watched this movie together.
We watched it together?
Yeah.
Together?
We went on a date night.
Oh,
Undercover date night for Lost City. Where me and Sam were like, yes, we are dating. This is my boyfriend. This is boyfriend.
No, well, okay. That is not even the approach. Hayden texted me and we're just like, hey, do you guys want to come to this radio sponsored thing, date night thing?
We didn't know that it was a date night until we showed up and they're like,
I think
are you guys here for the date night? And we're like, yeah.
Yep.
We're dating.
Yep, date night.
Give us a smooch.
Come on, give the crowd a show. Give them a smooch. Like, no, we haven't
We
got
can't
there.
let you in unless you smooch.
Incest.
It's just like the other Sandra Bullock movie, The Proposal, where they're like, come on guys, smooch, and they're like, no. No, please, don't do it.
We've never done it before. Kiss her like you mean it.
I mean, I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
I thought it was going to be very raunchy and just not that funny. But it had like an actual good story, like a better story to it than I thought it was going to be.
It was what Uncharted was supposed to be.
That's true. This is more of an Uncharted movie than the Uncharted movie. Ooh.
Because how this movie worked was, yeah, let's go treasure hunting. And this treasure that we found, it's actually nothing.
Yeah.
It was actually meaningful in a different way, not in the richest way.
One man's nothing is another man's symbolic treasure.
Yeah. That's why I didn't like it. I just felt
I
it
wanted
was
there to
a
be
waste
riches.
of time.
Come on.
It was a
the
waste of
Channing
time.
Tatum butt.
No.
Yes.
Too much Tatum butt.
Yeah, there
wasn't enough Tatum butt.
From the trailers, I knew it was gonna do it, but I didn't think it was gonna be a 5-minute scene of just zoomed in on the butt.
Here's the real question, though. Did they CG in the leech bite on his butt, or was it practical effects? Channing Tatum, please tell us.
Yeah, come on our show so you can tell us. We'll interview you. Chan, I know you. No, I don't. Chan,
just come on the show and we can talk about it.
Mr. Chan.
Your Fortnite dances in Free Guy were pretty good. I'm very proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually he's really, like, I don't know why I sat there and I was like, he's really good at this. Just that whole part of the movie, I sat there and I'm like, I've seen a lot of kids on TikTok do this, but this guy, he knows what he's doing. This man knows what he's doing. He knows them Fortnite dances.
But you know who was also a really great person who I want to see more of that was in that movie? Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
He's like, why are you? She's like, why are you so handsome? My father was a weatherman.
So good. And I love it because in the trailer they make it seem like he's gonna be in that movie a lot, even in the posters, because he's like there with him, like running with them.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, he dies immediately.
But then spoiler alert, he comes back.
Was it an end credit scene?
Yes,
okay.
It was. Because he only uses 10% of his brain, so he didn't die. The stupidest. I hated that part so much.
Dude,
They should make
They're
a
just
movie
doing yoga.
just about him.
What was that part? They're just doing yoga casually, and he just sneaks up. He's like, I'm not dead because you only use 10% of your brain.
That fact isn't even true. That's the best part.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, you do, at least. Hayden, what's another secret movie that you have?
Wait, hang on. Lost City, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm putting that above Uncharted. So what movies have we talked about already?
Death on the Nile, Uncharted, Jackass, and Hotel Transylvania, Transformania.
Okay. So, that's what it was called.
Yeah, Transformania.
Okay, so Death on the Nile at the bottom, then Uncharted.
What do you mean Death on the Nile at the bottom?
So
don't you mean Hotel Transylvania, then Death on the Nile?
No.
Oh, trust me, there will be more lower on that list.
Oh, baby.
Okay, we're throwing all the ones I have not seen on the bottom.
Okay.
So, and they're just not on the list. So right now, in my ranking list, we have Death on the Nile.
Do you want me to?
Uncharted.
Here, go ahead and write it down.
So,
Write it down. You can use the pen if you want.
While you're doing that,
just
I'll segue into my next movie.
Oh, baby.
So, I know you guys might have heard of a film series that has now 6 movies in it. One of Ice Age.
No.
I'm talking about Ice Age, The Adventures of Buck Wild, baby. Woo!
I heard that one was not good.
And this is now a Disney-owned company, so
yeah,
Blue Sky's animation is not present in this movie.
She died.
And it looks disgusting.
Yeah, it looks awful.
There is a dinosaur with a big brain.
Big brain.
Big, gross, throbbing brain.
I have a Pokemon that has big brain, and his name is Big Brain.
No.
He's what the dinosaur
And this dinosaur's so smart because he has a big brain, he can talk. And so it's gross, and he controls all the other dinosaurs. And yeah, they try to take the best Ice Age movie and revamp it, but they did awful. The only good thing that came out of that time was the Scrat shorts that came out soon after, which were way better because they were still Blue Sky who made those shorts.
The one where it was the very last one where Scrat finally got to eat the acorn.
Yeah, and then he died.
What?
Big sad.
Spoiler alert, he dies, but then his spirit goes back into his body as like a zombie, and it's all like...
No, it goes into the nut.
Yeah, he turns into the nut finally. Anyways, I'm not going to say much more about that. It was gross. 1 out of 10.
0 Mark Ruffalo's. I love it because 2 days ago I was watching Shay Furless's video of him ranking all the Blue Sky videos. He was getting so mad about all the Ice Age movies.
Yeah, they should have. Number 3 was a good stopping point.
Yeah, because
more after that.
He was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch the Buck Wild movie because it doesn't count. It's Disney now, not Blue Sky. So I'm not going to rank it. And I'm like, thank you. You deserve it.
Somehow got worse than the pirate one with Peter Stinklage.
Where he sang a little song.
Singing as a monkey.
Singing as a little man.
He's a little monkey.
Little monkey man.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Nice.
I got nothing to say because I stopped watching the movies after the 3rd one.
Yeah.
I can't believe the movies freaking
There's
have
6
almost
of
their.
them.
It's about to surpass the amount of Harry Potter movies there are, probably.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
How many Harry Potter movies are there? 6?
There's 8 of them.
Oh.
Because there's 7 books, but they split the last one into 2 parts.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the best movie of the year.
Morbius.
It's morbid time.
It's morbid time.
Morbid time. You know?
Is it really Morbius?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you're joking.
I put the Batman and Morbius in the same.
Wait, you mean the Batman
section.
and also the other Batman movie?
Yeah, the Batman movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Morbius. Dude, when we came home after watching that movie, I was so livid. And you were trying to gaslight me, being like, no, that didn't happen. It was a good movie. What are you talking about?
Because it was a good movie.
No!
I think it's the best movie on this list so far.
I will say this, I've appreciated the memes more. And I love it because I have a gif of like the full movie. And the resolution is terrible. But it's the full movie. It's my favorite. But I still hate the movie.
Yeah.
It was not good.
The movie could have been better. It was literally just Venom. But
Yeah,
worse.
Venom with vampires, but they tried to make it sciencey and didn't do any fantasy stuff when that would have helped them so much more. It would have been like more plausible, I guess, because then people would have been like, oh yeah, his ears would turn into the little accordion looking thing for him to hear stuff, I guess. I don't think science would be able to do that.
Well, Morbius, in theory, could have been great. They should have ended with him actually being a villain, or actually showing how he is the villain, versus just the end of the movie being like, hey, guess I'm a villain now because I'm working with the Vulture for no reason.
And somehow he's in this universe, even though we're going to try to make it seem like, oh, No Way Home did this, even though it's like, that's not how this spell worked. What's even happening? I don't even know what's even happening.
Yeah, I wonder...
They should have just made him a full-blown villain. I hate how they're making all the villains good guys.
Yeah.
At least with the Joker movie, they still made him a villain at the end. Like, they made him a little sympathetic, but they're still like, oh no, he's
not justified.
He's causing riots still. He's not sitting there just like, oh, but I feel bad. He's just like, I like it here, and it's fun.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
That movie's overrated. But not Morbius.
Oh,
Morbius is not even close to being rated high enough. That movie did not deserve its terrible rating. It deserves terrible ratings, but not that terrible.
I love how you were getting mad at me because you were like, you read reviews and that's where you're getting your opinion.
Yes, that's legit where you got your opinions from.
I did not. I didn't read anything about I sat there and looked at the trailer and I was like, oh, this is probably not going to be good, especially with the, duh, I'm Venom, haha, just kidding, I'm Michael Morbius. And they didn't even have that in the movie.
No, there was, like, the biggest criticism that the movie had was the editing. And when you...
Which is true!
Yeah, but...
Don't fight me on it!
But this is, like, I agree, the editing was not that good. But...
Don't try to say, oh yeah, because you said that the editing was bad. Obviously, you read reviews when I didn't. It was just that obvious.
But when I was like, oh, what's bad about the editing? Tell me right now what's bad about the editing.
And I told you,
and you're
the
just
very
like,
beginning, where it shows him
bad.
No, I told you why.
Then you had to do your own review on it, and like you had to do your own research on it.
No,
and it was so bad because I caught you, and you aren't freaking taking the loss.
You're gaslighting me. You're gaslighting me. I told you why. I got the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I told you how the editing was bad. Because they started off where they're at the cave that's from Lupin the Third. And he's like, oh, I'm going to stick my hand in the cave, and these bats are going to come get me. And then they cut to him being a little kid, meeting the other kid who's like, I'm going to call you Toby, even though that's not your name, and that's what you're going to be credited as, because we're not going to call you anything else. And he's like, okay, guess I'll die. And then he's like, oh, I'm really smart, so I'm going to fix it so he doesn't die. And they're like, oh, I guess we're best friends. But then they keep on, like, cutting back and forth between them, being like, ugh, I don't like you, and then cutting to them being like, oh, we're best friends, and then it cuts back and it's like, oh, I'm dying, but I also hate you, and it's like, well, I'm gonna save you, and they're like, oh, best friends again, and then it cuts to him being in, like, another country, being like, I'm getting a degree, but also, I hate this degree, I'm leaving, and then he's at the hospital. He's at the hospital, and the kid's like, why did you accept the degree? And he's like, because I didn't want it, and then he left.
That's it. That's the whole movie right there.
Amy, but you
Amy
left it like
just
the best.
the whole movie.
I don't care about that part.
And
I
you left
don't
it-
care about the man was dancing. I don't care the Doctor Who was dancing everywhere. And being like, I'm the coolest man here, because now I'm a vampire. Which also another thing is, it's like, oh, I'm going to go check on Michael Morbius and see if he's okay. And then he writes on the window in his blood being like, blood. And then he's like, I know what that means, and hands him a red thing of blood. And then that's another thing. He's like, oh, red blood? Oh, I can't have this, even though I had some in like 2 scenes ago. And then he threw me a pack of red blood. But also, I'm going to act like I got all energized, but not from the red blood, obviously. And now I'm getting out of this jail cell. This movie sucks. It makes me mad.
You... Okay.
Morbius.
Morbius is...
2, 1,
Morbius...
1.5 out of 10.
I give him...
I'm disappointed with that, what was shown in the trailer was not at all what the movie was.
All of the trailers were so, like, mismatched, because, like, I feel like the very first trailer that came out, it had more of, like, a horror-ness to it, and I was like, oh, sick, dude, they're gonna go all vampire in this, it's gonna be real good and spooky. And then the second trailer was like, Morbin time! And it's like, no!
But I put Morbius higher than Uncharted, below Lost City and Jackass.
The best thing that came out of Morbius was the fact they released it on April Fool's.
That is pretty good.
So, I guess we're talking about Batman now.
Yes. Yes.
This is probably the most overrated movie of all time.
This is the best movie of the year. What are you talking about? I'm so excited for the next movie. They better give him a son or I'm gonna cry.
Like a Robin or Damien?
A Dick Grayson.
Oh, okay.
Give him the little circus lad, even though I have no idea how they're gonna do that.
He's gotta go to Bloodhaven because he's like, I remember Selena Kyle. I love my Selena Kyle.
Oh, that would actually be pretty good, him being
Okay,
like...
I shouldn't be giving you ideas.
But the thing is, she doesn't know that he's Bruce Wayne. And she probably wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, yes, Bruce Wayne, I'll go on a date with you. That wouldn't happen.
Or he'll just be that weird guy that's like, I gotta find her. I gotta find him.
No,
I
I remember everyone on Tumblr was very obsessed with that movie, which makes me very happy. But people were like, oh, yes, it makes me very excited just to see this really sad man trying to go to a circus to make his life better, but then gets traumatized by reliving his family's death, and then also getting a kid in the process too. I'm like, yes, please. But I'm upset because I feel like a Jason Todd would work more in this universe. Because it's like, this homeless kid in this flooded city, I'm going to take care of him. And it's like, no, don't.
Oh, I sure hope you don't die in the hands of Joker.
Ruh-roh.
And then Joaquin Phoenix comes in.
Whoa!
And he comes dancing down the staircase in such great fashion of, what's that song called?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was sitting here and thinking of like the. I was thinking of the Gladiator march.
That's the triumph music. Yeah, by far one of the greatest songs ever.
I really like that movie.
It was probably the
better
second.
Than Morbius. It's the better Batman movie.
It's the less accurate Batman movie, but it was a better. It was a less accurate Batman movie than Morbius, but it was the better Batman movie.
Yeah. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Right now, it's at the top of the list.
5 Mark Ruffalo's.
We're probably gonna. Well, we sort of did like an episode on it, recording it. We might.
I want to redo that one. All right, Hayden. What's another surprise?
Most of mine are Disney Plus ones, and the next one I saw, kind of not by choice, was the remake of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Heck
oh
yeah.
no!
And
I forgot.
I didn't
about
know
that.
that they made one.
And the parents are a mixed couple, so there is way too much Black Lives Matter propaganda spread throughout the
Hayden,
movie.
you racist?
I don't care.
Hayden is not a racist.
That's the only reason they made this movie, was just to they probably started filming when all that stuff was going on. They're like, how can us as Disney appeal to this stuff? Make
Disney.
a remake of a really good movie and turn it into a really bad movie. It's like a Disney Channel show, but it's a movie. There's so many bad jokes in it. It's just
Disney's
awful.
just. I have many things about Disney.
Disney, sponsor us.
I'd probably give Cheaper by probably a 1 out of 10.
Okay.
It was pretty bad.
I'll trust you on that one.
Yeah, there was too much propaganda stuff in it.
It was
I
trying
can't.
to be too
I don't want to say propaganda. Yeah, it was being too exclusive.
inclusive.
Yes.
Hayden, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it had like a 25th anniversary, so it was at the theaters. But me and Sam watched Princess Mononoke for the first time, and we missed like the first 10 minutes. Yeah. And I sat there and I was like, I know what kind of happened, but Sam has no idea what's happening.
Yeah,
so this is
I was too
great.
busy getting my full price bunch of crunch and a pretzel.
I know, we were sitting out there waiting for it.
I forgot that we were doing this movie, so I'm gonna have to put that right there.
Right there.
Well, I mean, I liked it. I would have to rewatch it to get like the full feelings, but the animation's so good, and I remember people talking about how Breath of the Wild was very Studio Ghibli. Like, I remember in the other movies, I was like, I can kind of see how it's like inspired by it, but I can't really see it. But watching this movie, I was like, oh yeah, very inspired.
So the movie was good. Then it was good when it was good, but it was like really bad when I wasn't. I really wasn't invested in a lot of parts.
I feel like we just.
I liked when you got to like the random city with all the women who do all the coal mining, whatever, where they're all like, "Oh, let's have a man come see us.
Ooh, look at the little man."
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, just the whole town and whatever. The action scenes were all right.
I forgot that the movie was PG-13, and they totally used that. Because then you just see him, like, shooting arrows, and it hits a guy in the arm, and it just rips the whole arm off.
Oh.
But yeah, I liked it. I just have to watch it again just to get the fullness of it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again. Like, I'm trying so hard to be into the Studio Ghibli movies.
You just gotta find the right one for you.
But they're just not it for me.
Baby.
What do you mean, baby? I'm just not interested in it. I just, like, there's some parts that are fun and whatever, but then they randomly have to have the weird looking goop characters.
All of the mystical creatures are, like, like Japanese folklore creatures, like
Probably.
spirits.
I didn't get that.
Well, should we talk about I guess I could do 3 Mark Ruffalo's.
I put that below Lost City, above Jackass.
Nice. What are your thoughts on a Japanese-inspired movie called Turning Red? Well, I should say anime-inspired movie. Turning Red!
Turning Red!
I mean, I want to hear y'all's opinions. Because I feel like I would probably... Out of the 3 of us, I think I relate to it the most.
Because you're Chinese and from Canada?
No, because I'm a woman.
Chinese from Canada. In the 90s.
Actually, this was based in 2001, and someone like made an edit of like the trailer and being like, "Oh, if this was really based in 2001, they would have like 9/11 like references being like, we gotta respect the people, being like, remember those who were lost." And someone made like a terrible edit of it. It's so good. I have to find it. Instead of the stadium that they break into, it's the Twin Towers. And they're getting funds to rebuild it. It's so awful, but it's so funny. Because the editing is like low-key terrible, but it's like terrible enough where it's hilarious.
My initial thought of the movie, me and my roommate Ryan watched it. We watched it together because we were like, you know what, this is a Pixar movie, let's watch it together. Because, I don't know, that's what we just watch stuff together.
Yeah.
And we thought it was an okay movie.
Yeah.
Some of the parts were funny, like how there was the drawings of the gas station person.
Dude,
that's the best part of that whole movie.
Me sitting here as like someone who just like drew my whole life, and just the art style, and just her being like, "Whoa, boy!"
Yeah,
just how real.
Turn him into a mermaid.
Which is so funny. Dude, just like looking at their drawings and just this style where it's just like teenager trying to like make anime style but like doesn't know how to do it that well. I sat there and I was like, no, that's what my drawings looked like. And it was so horrifying. I was like, oh no, that's me.
I don't know. Like, I remember watching it once and then just being like, yeah, this is a total reference to periods. But then it turned into you can just get rid of your periods through Chinese magic. And but if you get angry enough and break your cursed necklace, you just get your period powers again and turn into a panda.
It was like I have mixed feelings on it, because like at first they're like, oh yeah, this is going to be basically a period, but then they like threw that out like halfway through the movie, and they're like, nope, kind of like werewolves, I guess, but not really. Werewolves. Guess we'll make it werewolf so it's relatable.
Well, like.
But I remember people just getting mad and being like, this is all about periods and we shouldn't have our kids know about it, when it's like, first of all, it's natural, and you shouldn't be like the mom in the movie and being like, I was going to tell you when it happened instead of warning you, when it's like, no, we should get warned first. Because it's not a good time.
Well,
as the lady's point of view.
Can you imagine if they made it into like, instead of just insinuating the...
Instead of making it so your period's a panda, it's like an actual period. Sam, legit, there are people that were getting mad at this movie and being like, oh, they're sexualizing this 14-year-old kid and making her sell pictures of herself and making it sexual, when it's like, no, this is when they throw out all of the period stuff and make it like, look, she can turn into a panda and she's going to sell pictures for it to make money to go to a concert. Of course they're going to profit off of it.
There's no sexualness about a red panda.
Exactly.
Can we talk about like the best part of that entire movie?
Where she's like the first time she's a panda and she runs by the gas station, goes back, looks in the window, goes "Awooga!" and like runs away. That part made me cry laughing. Oh, so good.
I was thinking about the greatest montage in any movie, where the dad's making that super good looking meal.
The dad is the best part of the movie.
The fog, like the steam go over his glasses, and it like does like the little anime like shine.
Yeah, that whole like just that whole part was just so anime.
He's super good. I like the dad.
He's so good, but then they don't just like make him a one-note character and being like, oh yeah, he just does whatever. We're not gonna make him essential. But they made him like later on, like before she was like, okay, I guess I gotta put away the panda, and he finds like the little videotape thing, and he's like, you don't have to hide who you are. You can just be yourself if this makes you happy.
You can be a panda if you freaking want to be.
Yeah.
But don't sell it.
That's where I draw the line.
I like the big kaiju fight where she fights the mom.
I like how the Backstreet Boys are essential. They're like, okay, let's sing to him. You are my fire, the one.
Okay, but that song kind of slaps though.
That's
pretty good.
I can't remember what the.
I Want It That Way.
That's what it's called. Oh, you're talking about the actual Backstreet Boys song.
No,
I'm talking about the Four Town.
That's what I was too.
Their songs are actually kind of good.
Yeah, because they're written by Billie Eilish.
Oh.
She's the one that made them. That's why
because her brother is one of them.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, Phineas. He's one of the Four Town guys.
I love it. I love the whole thing where the grandma, like how at the end of the movie when they all become pandas, but then they have to like lock it up into something. I love how the mom gets a Tamagotchi for hers. And it's so fun because she's like, oh, I gotta feed this thing all the time. So annoying. But then the grandma got like the 4-town necklace and she's like, 4 is such an unlucky number. But yeah, pretty good. I like the animation.
Yeah, it was fun little animation.
But
it wasn't. Don't mind me, I had a cough.
Sir!
Please! I can't even remember what I was going to say.
I would say this is no Soul or Inside Out. But it's definitely better than like the Cars movies out of like Pixar movies.
I thought this was better than those two.
I thought it was.
Than Soul and...
I thought it was better than Soul, but not better than Inside Out.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was better than Luca. I like Luca a lot. Oh, I put Turning Red before Lost City, after Mononoke.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
4 Mark Ruffalo's.
I think...
I like how we've committed to just do that.
I actually might put Lost City...
higher up?
No. Lost City is going to be under Turning Red.
Alright, Hayden, what's the surprise movie?
There's a new Chip and Dale movie that came out.
Dang. Did you watch that?
No, I want to watch it.
It was very surprisingly good. Like, really good. I was laughing the whole time.
I heard like mixed things, but I got like the jokes of just like, ooh, ugly Sonic is in the movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen from
I got that
the whole time.
Every
Time Ugly Sonic talks, they focus on his teeth because his teeth are gross, and so he's just trying to talk, and they'll start zoning out, staring at his teeth. So good.
That makes me think of.
He's like, regular Sonic's fast, but I'm slow, baby. It's so good. And there's so many like references to like other things besides Disney in it. And it's just, it's so good.
Yeah. I like because I'm kind of sad that I got some of it spoiled, but it also makes me sit here and be like, oh, I kind of want to watch the movie more. But, like, just, like, the villain's whole, like his deal and, like, what's happening to everyone. Like, that's super interesting to me.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it ain't it's probably not going to be as good as the original Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Because was that what it was trying to be?
It just has a similar style.
Yeah, it was a similar style there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of, but like it branched out past like Disney stuff. It wasn't just all Disney stuff. It was like Sonic. Like it was, yeah. There was other stuff in there that was.
It was just animation based. But yeah, we'll have to watch it, Sam.
It's pretty good. I'd give it 8.5 out of 10.
Dang, this is your highest rated movie
Yeah,
yet.
it was pretty good. It like was surprisingly good.
Oh my gosh!
Don't worry, I was messing around with your iPad and then just lost complete control over it. Overcorrected, flipped it, caught it, and I'm like, oh, and then gave Amy an aneurysm.
My livelihood.
What a segue.
Into
the bad guys.
So I think it hands down
I have
one of my favorite theater experiences. I'm joking because it was by far one of the worst. We had 3 or 4 families, like, and us, like me and Amy, and then I think there was a date going on, and then there was also these 4 kids.
I thought it was 3 of them.
Okay.
3 or 4
Yeah.
teenagers.
No, they were a crew. They were a crew of annoyance of just like, guys, let's play a game. Let's see who can moan the loudest.
It was awful. But then also like cussing for no reason throughout the movie.
The movie was pretty good. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It was definitely like a kids movie. It just was pretty simple, and yeah, you could see where you could tell who the one hamster was a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
Like as soon as it did that, I was like, of course.
As soon as it's like, I want to work with the lads, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's gonna settle.
I didn't expect the snake to go with him, but I was like, oh, I should have known. But then I do like how they're like, dude, come back with the snake, and he's like, okay. And then he did. Okay, dudes. I really like the animation though.
Yeah.
Like, I just love all the unique like animation styles coming out recently. It's not just all the generic same thing.
I remember I went with my family to see it in theaters, and there's the very like end scene where they like go off the bridge into that big crater, but there's all the guinea pigs, and they're like having this sentimental moment, but it's hard to focus on that because all you can see is guinea pigs fly to their death. Just like, it's like, what in the world? They're like trying to have a sentimental moment. They're like, it's okay, we were friends forever, and then there's just guinea pigs. It's like, you didn't need to animate that, but you did.
They had to.
My sister was just dying. I was like, I can't take this seriously.
Stupidly enough, I love the farts.
I mean, they actually utilized it in the movie. It wasn't just like
a
funny
fart
fart.
joke.
Yeah, it wasn't just one of those.
When they were first like, oh no, I get nervous when I fart. I fart when I get nervous or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, this is gonna botch it for them. Like there's gonna be a part where they have to be really quiet, and then you just hear a yeah, but like,
thankfully they didn't use that.
They
did it in a better way.
Yeah, they used it where they were like, let's almost kill Aquafina. by having a gas leak in the one room that they did not need a gas leak. And you just see her eyes like watering as she's like typing as fast as she can.
She's holding her breath like, oh please. I kind of wish they were like, oh yeah, instead of a piranha, we can just make him a skunk instead, because that would make sense. But I like how he's a piranha though.
Yeah, piranha is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are they known for their gassiness? Let's see.
No.
They're known for their teeth.
Sam, please, we don't need to know if piranhas fart.
Okay. What's the next movie?
Hayden, what's your last little surprise for us?
You guys both know the beloved 2010 movie. It was a blockbuster, made tons of money,
Oh no.
very well recognized.
Okay.
And of course, I'm talking about voiced by none other than himself, Owen Wilson, Marmaduke.
You watched Marmaduke?
No.
There's a new
There's
animated one.
New one.
No way.
And the
And it is
animation's
the-
terrible.
And it is super racist.
Oh.
For a movie that came out this year, it is super racist. There's like the dogs are like, one's like a Chihuahua, so obviously he's Mexican, but he's just the way that it talks,
like
he's
too, like way too stereotyped.
way too stereotyped.
Oh,
And then I could go on about how awful there's just too many unnecessary poop jokes in the movie. And then it just
Oh no.
the movie end credits is like it just doesn't make sense. I like too much to unpack.
I heard about it.
It's just so awful. It's like this movie did not need to be made, but it was anyways.
That was a Netflix movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You can always count on a good Netflix original.
It's a
Hit or miss.
negative 5 out of 10.
Oh, I never put Bad Guys on my list.
Oh, good job.
Bad Guys is number 3. It's between Lost City and Turning Red.
Oh, I guess I could say 3.5 Mark Ruffalo's. 3.5 Mark Ruffalo's. Oh.
I found out something.
Did I say 7 out of 10 for Bad Guys?
Okay. Guys, I have done extensive research.
Yeah.
Piranhas do not fart.
I would imagine fish don't fart.
There are 2 that fart. By definition.
Oh, no.
Two specific fish.
It says the answer depends on your definition of a fart.
The first fish is a poopy fish.
If you consider farting to be a byproduct of digestion, which is the gases, expelled solely through the rear end, then no, most fish don't fart, with the exception of herring and sand sharks.
Attaboy, sand sharks! Okay. Well, Sam, tell us about what you thought of Northman.
Ooh,
Did you watch The Northman, Hayden?
No.
Okay.
Northman, I went in there, watched the trailer, I'm like, yo, this seems sick. A Viking movie where...
With Daddy Defoe.
Yeah.
Daddy Defoe.
Daddy Defoe. Going in there, there's going to be a lot of massacring and freaking battle and action. I saw one of my coworkers there and we talked about the movie. And,
I wish I watched it.
And I thought it was super underwhelming. I did not like it because I was expecting this action-packed thrilling adventure. But there's like probably 2 scenes that were interesting. Where he gets like the Nightblade, I think that's what it was called. That whole sequence was pretty cool. And the opening, like the first Viking raid. Other than that, there was really no like action sequences that were that cool.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised because I've seen The Lighthouse, and I'd imagine it's gonna be similar to that.
Because of the director.
Yeah. Robert Eggers. So I'm not too surprised that it wasn't super actiony.
It was, yeah. It was. I just wasn't into it. One of my friends who was into like all the Nordic stuff, he's like, dude, this movie was pretty sick, even though they didn't have all of the stuff that I wanted to go into. It turns out to just be a love story and a revenge story to a point.
Yeah.
But the revenge plot was very, very like handed off to the side.
Oh.
It turned into, I'm gonna fall in love with Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah.
Taylor.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Princess Patch.
Princess Patch.
I'm gonna put that movie above Uncharted, so it's like at the bottom 3.
Men. It was an A24 movie. It was pretty wild. Not as wild as like Midsummer, but I would put it up there as like the same kind of like wacky shenanigans that happens. The whole like last 10 minutes is insane. But it was also low-key kind of spooky. But it was very interesting because the whole like plot of it is like a woman who like her husband like committed suicide, so she like tries to go and like take a vacation to like kind of just get her out of that mindset. But then she's being stalked by a naked guy who like starts growing like branches off of him the more that you see him, and it's very scary. And then like no one's helping her, but like so when I was looking on IMDb, there's like 4 people that were like in the cast, and one guy played like half of the guys, and it was so spooky.
And it was it was a live action.
Yeah, it was live action. One of the characters that he played, it was a little kid, but they CG'd his face over him. And it was so weird looking. And it was funny because I kept sitting there like, because there's just me and my friend that went to it. And I kept whispering to her like, is that his real face or did they CG him? Why does this kid have a 40-year-old man's face on him? Wow. But yeah, it was pretty wild.
What would you rate it?
3.5 Mark Ruffalo's.
Nice.
Alright, our last movie of the day. Top Gun.
We're not talking about another movie?
No.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of
Madness?
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about that.
We don't have to talk about it a lot.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I've seen it 3 times. And I think it's very fun.
I saw it once.
I think me and Hayden have the same feelings.
I thought it was fun.
Someone made a comment on like IMDb or something like that, and they said you could tell this was a TV show director directing a movie for the first time.
Okay, but it isn't.
Well, not first time, but just like you could tell it was like, I felt like I was watching a Disney Plus Marvel show that was turned into a movie, and I felt like it would have been better to make this movie into a TV show and have them like different episodes go through different like universes and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's so misleading that it's Multiverse of Madness, but they go to 2 multiverses.
Do you not remember the sequence of them going?
That doesn't count.
That's a cop out. That like the main focus is in 2 universes: is the MCU universe and then the Earth whatever where the rest.
616.
Yeah.
Even though they said that this universe was 616. And then
we are.
It's like 838 or something.
It was something where it was like they said it like in another universe, and it was like completely different. And then people were just talking about that and being like, "What the heck is happening?" But then they were also saying that Spider-Verse was also 616. That's why that's what was popping up all the time. That was the number that was showing up.
Well,
but then they talked about
in the comics, 616 is like the main storyline.
I just hate multiverse movies now. Ever since Spider-Verse became a thing, and that was like the peak of it, all the other ones just aren't as good. I haven't watched Everything Everywhere All at Once because people have been saying that one's a really good multiverse movie. But I think just because everyone's doing it now, it's just become like the norm, and it's just kind of annoying me when it's like you made something really interesting into something dumb, even though Injustice did it first, and they did a good job with it.
I think just expectations because of Spider-Man and the fact they call it like multiverse of madness, like it sets it up to be something that it's not.
Yeah, it makes it seem like it's going to be a big thing, and how it's going to be like, oh, this is going to be the most important movie, and it's going to be setting up everything that's going to be coming up, since it's going to be all multiverse stuff for this next. Like,
it just felt like a filler movie that like didn't have any plot like significance to it. It just kind of felt like they made it just to make it. It didn't feel.
I think
important.
I feel like the last few multiverse, like the last few Marvel movies, like ever since Loki, like they announced, like that was the one where they specifically talked about multiverses first, and then they tried to introduce it in different ways in different movies, and they introduce it twice, like in two different ways with Doctor Strange. Like in Spider-Man, Doctor Strange is like, we've expanded the multiverse because I did this spell. But the multiverse is just alternate versions of yourself, and then which is true, but like,
there's just too much stuff that's going on, and I feel like just after Endgame, it's just all like Marvel just doesn't know what to do because they've already peaked, and now I just feel like it's just slowly going downhill.
Well, people are still watching it, and
but there's also gonna be fans that are gonna like.
I
know people that are like.
I think viewings are gonna drop significantly until like the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Which supposedly I saw something that said they're announcing what the next Thanos level threat is gonna be, like in the next couple of months.
I thought there's so many things, like because they had like with Eternals they had like the Titans that are like basically like
the Celestials.
Whatever, same difference. But they had them like, it's under the... They basically made it Steven Universe, where it's like, the cluster's under the Earth and we can't let it form or else it's going to blow up the Earth. We'll just freeze it and it'll be fine. And we won't worry about it, but we also are not going to... Like, no one else is going to worry about it.
It's only been like, 2 movies since Eternals came out, and we don't know where that falls within, like, the timeline. And so we don't know where everything...
Obviously, it's modern day.
No.
They
I know it's modern day, but like when does everybody find out about the Eternals thing? That's the only...
It's after Thanos.
Yeah, but like, does everybody in the current timeline right now for Marvel, who knows about the Eternals storyline?
That's also another confusing thing, because like with Shang-Chi, they don't like. They say it's after Endgame, but then you don't know when. So then, like, it just mixes everything up, and then also adding in multiverse stuff, it's like, okay, well, are the Eternals on, like, another, universe? Really... Like, what's like...
Well, you don't really know when everything really happens anyway. You just
know...
You know that, like, really the only ones that you know for a fact in what order and how things went was really Iron Man to First Avengers. It was like, oh yeah, he was approached by Nick Fury, and then you see him go on to the next movie, and then Bruce Banner's talked about, let's go check him out, and then there's Thor, let's go check him out.
They just haven't set it up like that though.
Yeah, they haven't ever done that after that, because it's now just like, here's what's really going on in between these 2 Avengers movies. So it's whatever. But going back to Multiverse of Madness, I thought the movie was fun. It was like, I don't really like, to the plot line, I don't think it really matters.
They should have just made it a Scarlet Witch movie instead of
just
Doctor Strange.
They should have just called it the Multiverse of Madness. They didn't. They didn't
even need to call it that, because that would have also, like, that just would have made it not seem like what it was, because it's not like, ooh, crazy multiverse stuff is happening. It's
it just makes it seem like there's just going to be a ton of cameos, and there's like one scene, and all the cameos get like 1 minute screen time.
And it was by far one of the greatest sequences in that entire movie where everybody dies.
That was the worst
where they
scene
push it to like almost being rated R because they exploded a guy's head.
What's the problem with that? I thought it was sick.
It was stupidly set up. Richard Reeds or whatever is the smartest man alive, but he's like, hey, Wanda, this is how you stop Black Bolt.
Okay.
Here's how he uses his most powerful weapon.
And it's trying to like so talk her down. Too.
Like I don't, but like
it's
the thing is
that
no
point to that scene.
But the whole reason why like it would be better for like they want to stop Wanda, but they're like, we don't want to kill her because they could probably talk her down. That was Reed Richards' thinking. And Reed Richards' whole thing, his whole shtick in the comics and all of it, he's the smartest man. Like, he knows how to build and create whatever, and he thinks he can solve every situation, but then come to find out, he doesn't. Not saying that he's dumb, he just has the wrong solution for a problem, and that solution becomes a very big problem, which is what happened. I thought it was fine. I'm not a big fan of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, but that's fine.
I feel like he would have been good.
He's
I feel
fine.
like it's just such a waste of actors that they could use. Like, if he's not going to be used for...
They could I think they could use him for it, and they probably will end up using him for it. Because that was the spot where everybody, like, cheered the most. Mm-hmm. And, yeah. But I thought the movie was really fun, and we'll probably do a rewrite on that movie for your guys' pleasure.
I will say, I do like the camera work in this movie, though.
And a lot of people did
moments.
It's the most interesting out of the most recent movies, because it's just mostly just like, ooh, zoom in, pan, the over the shoulder, the facing one person and then switching it to the other person so they're talking to each other. Oh, nothing super interesting. But this one was like, ooh, we're going to twist it around, spin it around, and just be all cool and stuff like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Also, they could have utilized the end credit scene better. Like,
it's finally over.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
The pizza man?
Lots of words to say about that.
We'll do a rewrite.
I put Doctor Strange after Lost City, but before Bad Guys. I might change that.
I'd give it 1.5 Mark Ruffalo's.
You really thought it was that bad? I'm upset.
I did not like
3 out of 10.
This is better than most of the other stuff that you've said.
No. It's by far one of the worst Marvel movies. It felt so... A lot of the Marvel movies have a point to them. This one felt like it was just there to be there. Like, there was
It's just here to introduce America, and then...
Which, like... Okay, just quick rant on that. It's just, that character, watching the movie, I'm like, why are they trying to save her? She had, like, there's no... Like, they give her no storyline, like, besides, she had 2 parents that she thinks she killed, and... blah, that's as much backstory as she gets.
And he doesn't even... And then all of a sudden at the end when he's like, you can use your powers. And she's like, okay. And then she knows how to use them. When it's like, you could have made them running around places and him training her instead of just doing pointless stuff. Oh, there's a convenient, like, porthole in this street where it lets me see memories and we're going to connect that way, but not really.
She just has no depth behind her. I'm like, why are they trying to save her? Like,
they could have fleshed her out more.
We don't want Wanda to have the power of the multiverse, so she can't. And all of a sudden, people know how to steal people's powers just out of nowhere. What? When was that been established? Doctor Strange can just steal powers from people.
This just felt like WandaVision got, like, their TV movie.
Yeah. But not even that. It feels like everything that happened in WandaVision, they're like, hey, you know this series that's one of the best series out of the MCU TV shows?
Yeah.
Just everything that happens in that show just gets thrown out the window. Like, and Wanda's character development through that whole show just gets just thrown out immediately. Like, okay, she's a bad guy now.
I hate
even
it
though
too.
she became a good guy in the TV show.
And I hate it because I hate how now all the shows, it's like, oh, you have to watch them to understand what's happening. Because then it's like, oh, great. Well, good luck to all you guys that don't want to get Disney Plus. You guys are going to be so lost now.
That's a business strategy, but it's fine.
Which is stupid. Disney is so annoying to me.
It's annoying,
they're
but it's
so
not stupid.
fake. They're so fake, and I hate it.
That was an out of nowhere comment, but
I have many things to say.
Yeah, but I think they're just trying to do stuff good business wise because streaming's becoming the new thing. Streaming's becoming the new thing, and they're trying to be the best streaming platform, and they're gonna use that in any way. Like, oh, you can't watch these movies. You want to watch our stuff, you're gonna have to use our means of doing it. Like that's with any sort of. That's like with any sort of business, like, oh...
Netflix isn't going to release a show just on their site and then be like, oh, we're going to put a movie related to it only in theaters now. But if you don't have our streaming service, you're not going to understand this movie.
But that's not the point. The point is like, oh, you can't watch Stranger Things unless you have a subscription. You can't watch
no, it's
Umbrella
like two connected things. Like, if you're going to make a movie that's super connected to WandaVision, just put it on the thing that has WandaVision so then people can watch it on there. Don't make it like a whole thing where it's like, oh, anyone can watch this, but you have to pay for this. It's just DLC now.
It's marketing strategies.
It's so annoying, though.
It is, but it's marketing, and it gets. That's how people get money. It's what
makes me upset about Marvel now, because it's like everything is way too connected, and it's like I don't want to watch 50 movies. I don't want to watch 50 movies weeks in advance before a new movie comes out, just for me to understand one reference that they make in it.
I mean, okay.
Because. I love how 15 minutes ago you were like, all right, we need to stop talking about this movie because we can talk about it in another episode. Yeah. And then we started ranting again.
Sam got me heated.
What about Top Gun?
Don't ask me. I haven't watched the first movie.
But you you literally just watched the new one last week.
Yes.
You know what has happened.
Not last week, like 2 days ago.
Okay, same difference. We had to stop for a second because we were still heated and couldn't really continue on.
I liked Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick. Let's correct this.
Top Gun Maverick. The gas station that we went to before we started this episode of Top Gun Maverick. But I feel bad. I wish I watched the first movie before watching this one. Because like the parts where they make references to the first movie, I sat there and I was like, I know they're referencing the first movie, and I don't understand what's happening. But I'm sure if I watched it, I would sit there and be like, good job, movie. You got me there.
Yeah.
I liked having a fuller theater that had, like, I couldn't see, like, what kind of, like, group it was. I know that there was, like, a family, like, in the back. But there was quite a few people.
It was a decently filled movie.
Yeah, it was pretty full in there, but there was a few like older people, and I could feel them being happy because there was like a few people behind us being like, yeah, like I could hear them like saying like whatever things and being like excited.
I can't believe that Maverick, he's such a hoot.
What a hunk. I did realize
like him. He looked really good with his shirt off.
That beach scene.
When they're all playing football shirtless.
Honey, why don't you have a body like Tom Cruise?
Honey, why aren't your teeth crooked like his?
Janet, don't ever give me lip like that. I can probably fly just as good as him. But
yeah.
I really like this movie. I think it's my favorite movie of the year so far. Because
I really liked all the plane and like training sequences though.
Oh yeah.
They were so fun. And I couldn't wrap my head around them like I don't know what parts they were actually in a plane because I know like the build up for it. They're like, oh yeah, we actually did some of this stuff and it was fun working with like military people to do like flying stunts.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, I don't know what's like the flying stunts and what's CG. Like they were pretty even. It wasn't like an obvious like they're just flying in a straight line. They obviously were flying in that scene, but then in this scene when they're doing like barrel rolls and flipping and almost crashing and like all that stuff.
I think if like there's a lot of scenes in the movie that were in the trailer that I'm like, man, I wish I didn't see the trailer. Like where Tom Cruise is, or like where Maverick just shoots in between the two planes, like there's the two planes flying, and we're like, oh, where's Maverick?
Oh, that part was holy crap! That part was so fun. I'm kind of bummed that was like the first like flying like. I shouldn't be upset about it, but that was like the first time that we got to see like the whole group like flying together and like doing stuff.
Yeah.
But it was such a fun scene. I feel like that's probably like it like built it up.
Well, it was interesting. Like part of like the storyline from what I understand, it was like the group that was gonna go on the mission. It seemed like it was just gonna be a fight between Rooster and Hangman. Mm-hmm. Between who's gonna be the lead, like the group leader, or like the.
Oh, those two were just gonna fight for it.
Yeah, well, and that's what was happening. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden, it's just like, Tom Cruise, we're letting you go. We're gonna fire you. And then
I love how he proves him wrong. How he's like, I'm gonna do your task that's kind of impossible just to give these kids hope, and how I should do this with them, and how you shouldn't sacrifice them.
Well, he was just trying to show that it was possible to do, mm-hmm. and then all of a sudden, it's just like, yeah.
Guess what, kid? You're going now.
You're going in now, Captain Maverick. And then, yeah. Yeah, I liked the movie. There was a lot of good parts. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of weird editing at some points. Like all the romance scenes were weird, and and like the editing, how it was just like, wait, there's some romantic tension going on, and then it just does like the weird pan shots, and then you see like some action going on in the back, and then you see just in the middle of this whole scene, you see. Maverick and Penny, I think her name is.
I can't remember.
They were like gonna kiss, and then.
Was it after editing. He came back?
No, it was like.
Oh, at the bar.
It was the first time that like where she's walking up to the door, opens up the door, and he's like. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and then he just Tom Cruised his way into her house, and then yeah. Tom
Cruise. I feel like Tom Cruise looked older in this movie.
Well,
like it felt like no.
Because he is.
No, but like in Mission Impossible Fallout, I sat there and I was like, I don't feel like he looks super old. Like obviously he looks older than what he did in the first movie.
Yeah, but he doesn't seems old. He doesn't hasn't seemed like he's aged really. But from
that movie to this movie, it feels like he has.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like maybe the point of this movie.
I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10.
What are your opinions on it?
It just felt like a typical Tom Cruise movie. I haven't seen the first one, so I don't. I feel like it did a good enough job setting up, like, explaining all the references and stuff and, like, what was going on. It didn't just leave you in the dark, like. Mm-hmm. But they did a really good job explaining why. Yeah. And they, like, all the flashbacks. It was good they added all the flashbacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was...
I don't know. But it just... One thing that was a little weird for me was just the transition from being in flight school to when they finally get into like the mission, it felt like a different movie. It felt like they were in a really intense situation, but there was a lot of quips and one-liners, like just for no reason. Like when they both crashed the plane, and then he like finally he's like, "Oh, you saved me," and just pushes him on the ground. He's like, "What do you do?" Like just like I was like, it felt weirdly timed jokes. I was like, not funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I don't think they were going for a joke there, but then it was just
it
like
felt like it was supposed to be a joke, but it just didn't land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole
There were some jokes in the movie theater where people laughed. I'm like,
I know at that part everyone laughed, and I remember sitting there like, this is a serious moment. Why are we laughing?
Yeah, it's because they're like trying to be jokes, but not trying to be jokes.
Well, I think that was pretty realistic of what would have happened.
He should have just yelled at him instead of shoving him. I feel like shoving was like such like a little kid thing to do.
But it was like a life or death. I don't know. I think it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, considering that we didn't laugh at it, but like the whole theater did.
Yeah.
That's why I sat there like, oh, we should be laughing at this. I mean.
It was just that transition from the flight school stuff, and then all of a sudden they're in the mission. Like all of a sudden, it just felt like there was like parts in there that felt like quip one-liners that weren't supposed to be, but people still laughed anyways.
I feel like it was all kind of rushed, but I can see them making it feel rushed because they're like, oh, you gotta get there in 2 minutes.
Well, they got the need for speed. Some cool bits.
Mm-hmm.
I liked at the end of the movie where there was like I don't know. I'm not a plane person at all, and I didn't understand. Like, I think it was an F-40. F-40.
Yeah.
And then the ones that like the not Russians, but I liked how it was like, okay, we have these F-40s, F-45s or whatever, and so we have like top of the line stuff, and so we're gonna do this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bad guys, they have the F-35s, so they're like, okay, we're still a better group, but then they run out of like flares or whatever when the rocket, like when the sentries were blowing them up, and all of a sudden, so Maverick loses his plane, then Rooster comes in to save the day, he loses his plane, and then the stakes are then risen with, we now have to fly an F-14 or something.
And they blew up their runway.
Yeah, and so like the stakes were like risen very high because you're like, oh, this like the equipment's not as good. Rooster doesn't know. He's never been like the guy in the back seat before.
And especially with an old plane, because I'd imagine the plane that they were using for that part was like what he used in the first movie.
No.
Or would it be older than that, or like would it be in between?
I think it might have been older. I'm not entirely sure actually, but it was just interesting that they knew how to build up the stakes. Because they, like, this entire movie, they were, like, comparing, like, planes. And, like, at the beginning of the movie, they had the Buzz Lightyear ship. Like, the one that's, like, at the like, in the trailer for
Lightyear. Take it up to a 10. And then he's like, I'm going to do it even better, but then also crash it.
That opening bit was actually very fun, and I liked it a lot.
It was fun, but I was also like, idiot, just go back.
Well, that's the point of Maverick. Maverick is like the cocky guy who's push it
to the limit.
Well, yeah, thank you, High School Musical 3. But like, did you guys not watch that opening bit and just immediately think, man, this is the Lightyear trailer, where it's just like Tom Cruise is in a plane, and then he's just gonna go at such high speeds that he just goes back. He's gonna jump into the future. Yeah. But then him going into. We haven't watched
that movie yet.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I put this in this is my favorite movie of the year so far.
I'd probably give it 4 Mark Ruffalo's.
And then you gave it what, a 7? Or a 6.5?
Or like maybe like a 6.5. Well, no, a 7.
But this has been our recap for the last 6 months for the year of 2022. It's been an all right start. There's been some good movies. There's been some bad movies.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's only. Yeah, this hasn't been the best year. It hasn't been the worst year.
Yeah.
But well, I'm Sam. That's Amy.
Yeah.
And that's Hayden. And this has been the show. Cue the outro, I guess. Goodbye.